rust preserving a Ford Fusion. And the person that owns this car wants it done really, really good. The places you bring it to have an oil spray or rust protection done on it, they do not go to this extent for a oil spray. So what we have here is the side kicker, well, not the kicker panel, but this piece here has been removed, and the cushion here that goes in between here has been removed. Everything has been removed to gain access into all the little tight crevices and corners and cracks and all that type of stuff. And what's being used is this here. I have a video somewhere in the video amongst all the rest of the videos. Rust Cure with CSC 850. It's supposed to be the best stuff out there, and from my experience it pretty much is. I've used this stuff for years and years, and I really like it. It does a really good job, and the results are liked. Very much so. And what I do is a straw, a little straw that goes in that end hole there, and I just put it in there very, very good. Cover every square centimeter pretty much. And back in here, you can see how well it comes out there. Well, I just lay it in there really heavy. Let it run and drip and do what it's got to do, and then the leftovers will really stick good. So I already done that. I'm not going to redo it. It's already all finished back there, coated. And on this place here, you can see that crack. I'll just kind of go lightly and let it soak in really, really good all along that seam. And that rubber plug, this here is a support which is welded in there. That's what all this stuff is, to hide the joint. So I take that rubber plug out, and I take the can with the straw in the end, and I bend it to and fro so it gets up top and all along the joint, and then I just spray it really heavily inside and put the plug back in. And I put a little bit underneath the plug and then give it a twist, make sure it's nice and covered, and then that's it for that. Before I put the inner panel back in, I will cover this one as well, like so, but I don't want to do that yet because I'm maneuvering myself in amongst this stuff, and I don't really want to get myself coated or covered with all that spray. And being that this box here, whatever little control box this is, I remove the plug like so, and I screw it inside of them contact points and plug it back in to prevent any corrosion in the near future or any future. Without doing that, that's a dry plug contact point, and over time that could create a person some problems with that box not working due to corrosion. So by applying that Rust Cure formula, that will prevent any corrosion from developing and keep the contact points nice and clean, which they need to be to continue their connections to wherever it may be going. And I'm not exactly sure, but I'm assuming this here is the back tail lights or tail light, not really sure. And the green one I'm assuming is a ground of some sort. So pretty much every place you see except the top I'm not going to worry about this piece and part here up here. It's more so just in the areas along the outside of the car. I'll give them a nice coating, and it'll be good for years and years and years to come down the road, remaining rust free. There's quite a bit of involvement to applying this stuff like I am doing, but the involvement is well worth it for the longevity in the amount of years that it will last. I'm going to make some holes. Let me come and show you here. Along here, and put my own little rubber plugs inside. And I'll show you the type of plug I'm going to use. That's the plug there. Just push it in a hole, it seals it back up. To be able to spray on the front side of that wheel well. And the front side of the wheel well, you don't see it. Even in the back here, it's not seeable, but it's back there. This is part of it, which usually does pretty good, but the inside part, a lot more moisture seems to gather there and create corrosion, which not very many people really want. I know I sure don't care for it very much. I can accept it and put up with it and cope with it, but if I can prevent it, that's what I try to do. With the price of cars today, I don't blame somebody for wanting to make it last as long as they possibly can. And any kind of, you can see up there's some threads of a bolt coming down. Same thing will happen to that. I'll squirt it up, coat it, prevent any corrosion. So if down the road that bolt needs to be released, taken out, it's easily done. And that's how about I go. Look it up here, there's already a little bit of rust. You see it right here? Right there, already a little bit of rust developing. So I'll make sure I'll coat that really good. So for the most part, it's pretty much just a visual. If anyone's interested in doing something like this, it's pretty much a visual. You know, you go through everything and get a good visual of everything and apply that any kind of oily substance you may want to use, but I choose to use that rust cure. It don't really run, it stays on there well. It's probably not showing up on the camera much, but it's definitely coated. It'll remain like that for a very, very, very long time. I couldn't tell you the amount of time, but a very long time. You can see it, maybe you can't see it, but it's completely coated. Most importantly is the joints. Like, when I mean by joints, I mean like here, that's a joint where there's two panels that come together. Make sure that's done really good. At least I do. Let that oil seep down in that crack as deep as it can go. Once rust and problems start shaping up there, it's pretty difficult to fix. So to prevent that rust from showing up is what I want to do anyhow. Here's another bolt sticking up. You see, I'm just going through it visually, inspecting everything and making little judgments of where I think the rust cure is most importantly needed and applying it. So for now, thank you for watching. Subscribe if you have not, and thank you very much for those that already have.